Hello and welcome to Vector IJK. In today's video, we are going to cover the topic vertical circular motion. This is an important topic from the point of view of JEE and NEET. A question is asked from this topic every year at least once in JEE and NEET. So let's start. Here, vertical circular motion is basically the study of dynamics of circular motion in the vertical plane. If I have to explain using a circle, let me take a particle which is at the bottommost point. Say if this particle is moving with speed v, then we know that there must be some centripetal acceleration that is towards the center of the circle, which must be making the change in the direction of this velocity. So for that, if there is a centripetal acceleration, then there must be a centripetal force. In vertical circular motion, you will find this force most of the times either as normal force or tension force or friction force or any combination of all these. The basic example is if you tie a stone to a string and make it rotate. If you take a stone, say of mass m, and you tie it to a string this way, and it is hinged here, and you give some velocity to the stone, then this will perform a circular motion like this. It will stop somewhere here and then it will retrace its path back and start oscillating this way. This is basic oscillation. We are going to study the dynamics of this. So let's start. Here, when you give some initial velocity to this stone of mass m and it is hinged here, let me take the length of the string as L and the initial speed that is given to the stone is V0. This V0 is given perpendicular to the string. Now, what we observe on this stone can happen is the stone can reach any point here and lose all its velocity, and when it loses all its velocity, say at an angle theta, it will retrace its path back and perform oscillations. Or it might happen that it exactly reaches the 90-degree point here. It can even reach here, and then here the velocity becomes 0 and then it will retrace its path back. Furthermore, if you give high enough velocity, then it may even reach at a higher point here and something will happen. What will happen? We'll learn that. Also, the interesting thing happens is if the stone is given enough velocity v0, it may happen that this stone might complete the whole circle like this. So what are the conditions for all these things to happen is what we are going to learn in this video. So to start with, let us take the simple setup. You have a hinge to which a string is attached and a stone of mass m is hanging from it. Now you give some initial velocity v0 to this. Let's take the first example. The first case is that the stone reaches some point here and loses all its velocity, say at some angle. Now, when will this happen? How will this happen? What will be the tension at these points is what we are going to find out. So let's see. If I take an example where the velocity does not become 0, I understand that, and in the equations if I keep velocity equal to 0, that will be much helpful. Don't you think so? So let's say velocity is v somewhere here, and you know, since the velocity is tangential here, velocity here also will be tangential, because since the string is able to perform or is able to create enough tension such that you cannot have any displacement in this direction perpendicular to the string. You cannot have that. That means the string cannot be elongated. So the only displacement that the bob or the stone can have is in the perpendicular direction. Alright, since this is sorted, let me say this angle is theta, and let's try to find how much is the velocity here, what is the tension here. So to find the velocity v, we can use the conservation of energy. If the length of the string is L, then here the length of the string is also L. Then the change in height will be this much, right? If this is L cos theta, then this length will be, if this is L, then this length will be L cos theta. Then this length will be the whole L minus L cos theta. So L minus L cos theta. So that means from this point to this point, the change in height is L minus L cos theta. So I can find the speed here by writing conservation of energy. Initial energy half m v naught square is equal to final energy half m v square plus mg into L minus L cos theta. Alright, from here we can find the speed. After finding the speed, we can also find the tension. If to find the tension, what I can do is I can draw a free body diagram where tension is given here T. This is the tension T. If this angle is theta, then this angle will also be theta. So this is theta, this is tension, mg is acting down, and the speed is in this direction. So because of this speed, there must be some centripetal acceleration because the direction of the velocity is constantly changing. So I can say the centripetal acceleration will be in the radial direction, and that is given by T minus mg cos theta. This will be equal to mass into centripetal acceleration, which is v square by r, where r is the length of the string. So from here you can find the tension. Tension is equal to mv square by L plus mg cos theta. So we have tension. We can also find speed. We can find speed from here and put it here and find tension at any given theta. Now if you see properly, the tension is addition of this term and this term, right? So if I make a statement, you can judge whether I'm right or wrong. The statement is that tension will never be zero. The tension will never be zero if my theta is less than 90 degree. You can check that. My tension will always be addition of this term and this term. When will tension be zero? When speed is zero and this term is also zero. I know that from 0 to 90 my cos theta cannot be negative. Okay, so this term is positive, this term is also positive. When will tension be zero? When both the terms are zero. When are both the terms zero? When my bob or the stone reaches at this point, and exactly at this point speed also becomes zero and my theta is also 90 degrees. That means this term and this term both become 0 and 0, and only then will my tension be equal to 0. So during the whole motion from here to here, my tension is always greater than 0. So if my tension is always greater than 0, then if the velocity ever becomes 0 somewhere here, somewhere midway, say velocity became 0 here, then tension is still present. If the tension is still present, then there always will be a centripetal acceleration. Tension is still present, so there will be a centripetal acceleration, and because of that the stone will again retrace its path and it will still perform circular motion. It will not leave the circle. I hope this is clear. Okay, since this is established, let's understand what happens exactly at theta equals 90 degrees. At theta equals 90 degrees, let me take this as the vertical circular motion, vertical circle that I have, and I have this as my center. This was my stone at the lowest position where it was given a speed v naught, and this is my string, say length L. If the stone just reaches this point, that is theta equals 90 degrees, its velocity will become 0. From the previous equation you can say if velocity is 0 and theta is also 90, then tension will also be 0, right? So at this point my tension I'm assuming it to be, or it is 0. My tension is 0. Then what will be the V naught that must be given so that this happens? That means what minimum velocity should you give? This V naught should be something so that it reaches exactly here. So to find that, you can again conserve energy and write initial energy, that is half m V naught square, will be equal to m into g into the change in height plus the kinetic energy, but kinetic energy is 0 here because the speed is 0. And what is the change in height? The change in height is L itself. So I can say half m V naught square is equal to mg into L. So my V naught is equal to under root 2gl. So this is the minimum speed that must be given at the lowest position to reach this point. Now what other way is there to say the same thing? When it reaches here, if you give anything less than this, if you give V naught anything less than under root of 2gl, anything less than under root of 2gl, then your stone will not reach the 90-degree mark. It will reach somewhere midway, say here. It reaches here. If it just reaches here and its velocity becomes 0 here, then it will again retrace its path back and again reach the same angle the other side, and just oscillate about this mean position. Alright, but if it crosses beyond this point, it will not oscillate like this. Am I clear? So this is the first speed that we had to derive, and this theory you will find in every book. So V naught equals root 2 GL is the minimum speed that you need to require to make it go beyond the 90-degree mark. Alright, okay, let's move on. Now let's understand, what if our stone goes beyond the 90-degree mark? What if it goes here? If I start from this and I give a speed V and it reaches some point here, from this point to this point, say it is making an angle of theta. I'm not saying that it is slacking from here, or nor am I saying that the speed is becoming 0 here. I'm just saying at this position I have just taken a picture. So I give an initial speed V naught and the speed here is V. There is tension also present here and there is mg present. Let's analyze this condition. If this angle is theta, then this angle is also theta. If I had to find my length, then I'll say that my length can be, this is L cos theta and this is L. So my change in length is from this point to, or my change in height is from this point to this point. That is, my change in height is L plus L cos theta. So I can say initial energy half m V naught square gets converted into half m V square plus mg L plus L cos theta. Alright, next, if I had to write the force equation, I can draw the free body diagram again. My tension is here, mg is down, and I know that there is a velocity in this direction, and this velocity is changing because there is tension, so there must be centripetal acceleration. What will be the centripetal acceleration? It will be v square by L. So I can say my net centripetal force, that is T plus mg cos theta, is equal to m v square by L. So my tension is equal to mv square by L minus mg cos theta. I hope this much is clear. This is the second equation. This is the first equation. At each and every point, you can always make two equations. One energy balance, the second force balance. Alright. Now this is very interesting. Please pay attention here. There are two terms in this tension. mv square by L and mg cos theta. Let's understand when can tension become zero, or before doing that, let's understand what is happening to this mv square by L and mg cos theta. If you start moving, say from this position, if you start moving upwards, your theta is decreasing, yes or no? Your theta is decreasing. At this point, your theta is 90. And as and when you move up, your theta keeps on decreasing. So because your theta keeps on decreasing, my mg cos theta keeps on increasing, because mg is constant and cos theta on decreasing theta will increase. So my mg cos theta is increasing, while my speed, from this equation you can say my speed is constantly decreasing. So that means this whole term is decreasing and this whole term is increasing. Now think about when can tension be zero. If tension is zero, then this term and this term will be equal, but my speed will not be zero. If tension is zero, my speed cannot be zero. Speed will be more than zero only. Why? Because if speed is zero, then my tension is negative. There is no point of talking about negative tension. So tension will become zero, but speed will not become zero still. Speed will still be there. So this term and this term are equal when tension is equal to 0. mv square by L is equal to mg cos theta. Why I am saying this is because during the motion from this point to the topmost position, you will always be confused, or you might have come across this doubt, that when exactly or which thing will happen first. Will velocity become zero first, or will tension become zero first? So the answer is the tension will always become zero first, if it has to become zero, that is. But velocity will not become zero first, for sure. Am I clear? From the same explanation. Alright. So at t, when tension equals 0, my mv square by L is equal to mg cos theta. Alright. And what happens when the tension becomes 0? If tension becomes 0, then you can just assume that your string has just been cut off. If the string has just been cut off, then this stone just behaves like a normal stone which is thrown at an angle. If this is theta, then this will also be theta. It behaves just like a projectile. It's just as if this stone is thrown at with speed v at an angle of theta. There is no tension, so there is no restriction to it, and it will perform a simple parabolic motion. Okay, a projectile motion like this. If tension becomes zero anywhere between from this angle to this point to this point. All right. Let's understand then, if I don't want this parabolic motion, then how much speed should I give? To find out, let's understand what happens if we want to make the full circle for the stone. Say the stone was here and you gave it some velocity v naught. This is the length L. Now, if you want the circle to complete, if you want the stone to complete the circle, you need to at least make sure that it reaches here. Because, let me again explain, if it just reaches here, remember what I said. What I mean by saying it just reaches here? That means my tension and velocity, both will keep on decreasing and decreasing and decreasing and decreasing as and when I move upwards. So at the topmost point, my tension will be the minimum, but there will still be some speed, because speed will never become zero unless tension becomes zero first. So if the tension becomes zero exactly at this point, then I will have my mg force just like this, but there is no tension. Because of this speed v, the ball or the stone will want to carry forward and perform a parabolic motion like this, projectile motion. But because now, as soon as it tries to perform the parabolic motion, the string again comes into the picture. Let me just redraw it. The string again comes into the picture and tension again starts increasing beyond this point, because the stone wants to get away, but it is still tied to the string. So tension will again start acting from this point onwards, and it will again start moving in the circle. Alright, if this is clear, then let us understand what should be the speed here that must be given minimum, so that it at least reaches this point, and from this point onwards we know that if it crosses this point, then it will surely perform the vertical circular motion in a complete circle. So we are trying to find the condition for full circle. Alright, so we know tension here becomes 0. From a formula of tension is equal to mv square by L minus mg cos theta. At this point my theta will be 0. So I can say my tension is 0, mv square by L minus mg. Okay, so I can say, or m and m gets cancelled, and my speed will be equal to v square is equal to gl. Also I have another equation. Which equation? I can conserve energy. So between this point and this point, the lowest point and the uppermost point, energy conservation gives you half m v naught square is equal to half m v square plus m into g into the total height difference will be 2l. Yes or no? So using these two equations, let me just cancel out m. I'll just solve it for you. Y v square is equal to v naught square minus 4gl. When you put this equation here, you'll get v naught square is equal to 5gl. So my v naught must be equal to under root of 5gl. So this thing is the minimum speed given at the lowest position, given at lowest position for complete circle. Remember this very carefully. At the topmost position my tension will be 0, my speed will not be equal to 0. The explanation can be again seen from here. So many of the times I've seen students making this mistake, that they assume that at the topmost point, to complete the full circle, they assume at the topmost point their velocity will become 0. It does not happen so. If velocity becomes 0, then the stone will just fall down vertically. It will not complete the circle. Alright, so this is the minimum speed that must be given at the lowest position for it to complete a full circle. So if I had to revise the whole video, I can say that if you have a stone which is tied to a string L and you give some speed v, if your speed is less than under root of 2gl, then it will oscillate, then your body will oscillate. If your v naught is greater than under root of 2gl, then it will reach somewhere here and then again perform the parabolic motion from here. And if your speed is greater than under root of 5gl, if it is greater than under root of 5gl, then it will perform full circle. Alright, so this is the whole summary of this video. Hope you liked it. If you liked it, please like the video and share and comment any suggestions you have or any doubts you have. Thank you.